Question 1. An Agile team is struggling with frequent changes to requirements mid-iteration, leading to unfinished work. Which Agile principle is being overlooked in this scenario? A. Welcome changing requirements, even late in development. B. Simplicity, the art of maximizing the amount of work not done, is essential. C. The most efficient and effective method of conveying information to and within a development team is face-to-face conversation. D. Build projects around motivated individuals. Give them the environment and support they need, and trust them to get the job done. Answer: A. Welcome changing requirements, even late in development. The principle, welcome changing requirements, even late in development. Agile processes harness change for the customer's competitive advantage, is often misunderstood. While Agile embraces change, it primarily refers to welcoming changes at the beginning of an iteration or release, allowing for adaptation and reprioritization, rather than disruptive changes mid-iteration that hinder flow. Mid-iteration changes typically violate the iteration's commitment and lead to instability, which is why teams aim to stabilize requirements once an iteration starts. For sustained success, it is important to understand that embracing change means being responsive, not being chaotic. Question 2. During a Scrum sprint review, the product owner identifies a critical feature that was not developed as expected. The team explains they misunderstood the requirement. What is the most appropriate Agile approach to address this situation? A. Document the misunderstanding as a lesson learned and ensure better communication in future sprints. B. Immediately re-estimate the work and extend the current sprint to complete the feature correctly. C. Add the corrected feature as a new item to the product backlog for future prioritization. D. Require the development team to work overtime to fix the feature before the sprint officially ends. Answer: C. Add the corrected feature as a new item to the product backlog for future prioritization. When a feature is not developed as expected in Scrum, the most appropriate action is to add the corrected or refined requirement back to the product backlog. The sprint review is the ideal forum for inspection and adaptation, allowing stakeholders to provide feedback and identify discrepancies. Features that don't meet the definition of done or stakeholder expectations are incomplete and should not be considered finished. They become new work for future sprints, subject to the product owner's prioritization. This approach maintains the time box of the sprint and ensures that new work is properly estimated and prioritized against other valuable items. Question 3. An Agile team is about to start a new feature development. The team members are co-located and have a good rapport. Which estimation technique would be most appropriate for them to use for sizing their user stories? A. Wideband Delphi. B. Expert judgment. C. Planning poker. D. Analogous estimating. Answer: C. Planning poker. Planning poker is an Agile estimation technique where team members estimate the effort for user stories collaboratively and quickly, using a deck of cards with numerical values, often Fibonacci sequence. It is particularly effective for co-located teams with good rapport because it encourages open discussion, reveals different perspectives, and helps achieve consensus on estimates while minimizing individual biases. This interactive approach leverages the collective wisdom of the team, leading to more accurate and reliable estimates for their upcoming work. Always ensure everyone understands the story before estimating. Question 4. In a lean Agile context, what is the primary purpose of identifying and eliminating MURA? A. To reduce waste in the form of overproduction. B. To eliminate unevenness or irregularity in the workflow. C. To minimize overburden on people or equipment. D. To increase the speed of delivery by removing non-value-adding steps. Answer: B. To eliminate unevenness or irregularity in the workflow. In Lean, MURA refers to unevenness or irregularity in operations and workflow, which often leads to wasted time and effort. Its primary purpose is to smooth out the flow of work, ensuring a consistent pace and reducing bottlenecks that can cause delays and stress. By eliminating Mura, teams can achieve a more predictable and efficient process, preventing situations where work piles up in one area while another is idle. Think of it like balancing the load on a production line to ensure a steady output. Question 5. A cross-functional Agile team is holding a retrospective meeting. Which of the following activities is the most crucial outcome of a productive retrospective? A. Documenting all identified issues and assigning blame. B. Creating a list of actionable improvements for the next iteration. C. Reviewing the team's velocity and adjusting future commitments. D. Presenting a report to management about team performance. Answer: B. Creating a list of actionable improvements for the next iteration. The primary purpose of a retrospective in Agile is continuous improvement, focusing on the team's process and interactions. A productive retrospective concludes with the team agreeing on specific, actionable improvements they can implement in the very next iteration to enhance their effectiveness and satisfaction. This focus on concrete actions rather than just identifying problems or reporting to management empowers the team to own their process and progressively refine their way of working. Remember, the goal is always to get better, not just to complain. Question 6. A new Agile team is forming, and the project manager, transitioning to an Agile role, wants to foster a self-organizing environment. Which of the following actions best demonstrates servant leadership in this context? A. Assigning specific tasks to each team member based on their individual strengths. B. Facilitating discussions and removing impediments, allowing the team to choose how to accomplish their work. C. Directly managing the team's daily activities and reporting progress to stakeholders. D. Creating a detailed project plan and ensuring the team adheres to it strictly. Answer: B. Facilitating discussions and removing impediments, allowing the team to choose how to accomplish their work. Servant leadership in Agile focuses on empowering the team and fostering their growth rather than controlling them. A servant leader facilitates team discussions, helps resolve conflicts, and actively works to remove obstacles or impediments that prevent the team from achieving its goals. By allowing the team to choose their own approach to accomplish their work, the servant leader demonstrates trust and promotes self-organization, which is a core tenet of Agile values and principles. This approach helps the team take ownership and become more accountable. Question 7. What is the primary purpose of a spike in an Agile project? A. To address urgent technical debt immediately. B. To quickly research or prototype a solution to reduce uncertainty before committing to full development. C. To add a high-priority feature to the current iteration without prior estimation. D. To conduct a thorough market analysis for a new product idea. Answer: B. To quickly research or prototype a solution to reduce uncertainty before committing to full development. A spike in Agile is a short, time-boxed period of research, design, or prototyping used to investigate a technical or functional question that is causing uncertainty about a user story or feature. The primary purpose is to gain just enough knowledge to estimate the work more accurately or determine the feasibility of a solution before committing to its full development. This reduces risk and allows the team to make informed decisions, preventing wasted effort on uncertain paths. It is like a mini-experiment to gather necessary information. Question 8. In an Agile project, when should continuous integration ideally be performed? A. Only at the end of each iteration or sprint. B. At least once per day, if not more frequently. C. When all features for a major release are complete. D. Only by the designated integration specialist on the team. Answer: B. At least once per day, if not more frequently. Continuous integration, CI, is an extreme programming, XP, practice and a core Agile principle that advocates for developers to integrate their code into a shared repository frequently, typically several times a day. The main benefit is to detect integration errors early and often, making them easier and quicker to fix, thereby reducing the risk of major integration headaches later in the project. This practice ensures that the code base is always in a working state, promoting stability and reducing complexity. Question 9. An Agile team is reviewing its product backlog, which contains several high-priority items. How should the team prioritize these items to maximize value? A. Based on the team's preference for certain types of tasks. B. Solely by technical complexity, tackling the hardest items first. C. According to the stakeholder with the loudest voice or most urgent request. D. Using a value-driven approach, considering business value, risk, and dependencies. Answer: D. Using a value-driven approach, considering business value, risk, and dependencies. In Agile, maximizing value delivery is paramount, and the product backlog should always be prioritized based on a comprehensive understanding of value. This involves considering various factors such as the business value delivered to the customer, the associated risks, e.g., technical, market, dependencies on other items, and time sensitivity. Relying on a balanced, value-driven approach ensures that the most impactful and critical features are delivered first, optimizing the return on investment for the product. It's about delivering what matters most, first. Question 10. A Scrum team is consistently failing to complete all committed work within their sprints. What is the most likely underlying issue that the team should address? A. The sprint review is not being conducted thoroughly enough. B. The product owner is not available for daily questions. C. The team's definition of done is too stringent. D. The team is overcommitting during sprint planning. Answer: D. The team is overcommitting during sprint planning. If a Scrum team consistently fails to complete committed work, the most common and direct cause is overcommitment during sprint planning. This means the team is taking on more work than they can realistically complete within the sprint's timebox, often due to inaccurate estimates or an underestimation of their capacity. Addressing this requires the team to improve their estimation skills, better understand their velocity, and be more realistic about what they can achieve in a sprint. Remember, undercommitting and delivering fully is better than overcommitting and failing to deliver. Question 11. Which Agile testing practice emphasizes writing tests before the actual code is written? A. User acceptance testing, UAT. B. Regression testing. C. Test-driven development, TDD. D. Exploratory testing. Answer: C. Test-driven development, TDD. Test-driven development, TDD, is a development practice where developers write automated tests for a piece of functionality before writing the actual code that implements that functionality. The process follows a red-green refactor cycle: write a failing test, red, write just enough code to make the test pass, green, then refactor the code to improve its design without changing its behavior. This practice helps ensure code quality, reduces defects, and improves design by forcing developers to think about testability from the outset. Question 12. During a daily stand-up meeting, a team member consistently goes into detailed discussions about technical solutions, extending the meeting beyond its time box. What is the best way for the Scrum Master or facilitator to address this behavior? A. Ask the team member to stop talking and wait for the next meeting. B. Allow the detailed discussion, as it might be important for the team. C. Gently remind the team member that the purpose of the daily stand-up is status updates and offer to facilitate a separate, parking lot, discussion. D. Schedule a separate, longer meeting specifically for technical discussions later in the day. Answer: C. Gently remind the team member that the purpose of the daily stand-up is status updates and offer to facilitate a separate, parking lot, discussion. The daily Scrum or daily stand-up is a short, time-boxed event, typically 15 minutes, for the development team to synchronize activities and plan for the next 24 hours. Its primary purpose is for each team member to briefly share what they did yesterday, what they will do today, and any impediments. When detailed discussions arise, the Scrum Master or facilitator should gently guide the conversation back to the meeting's purpose and suggest that relevant team members take the detailed discussion offline or to a parking lot immediately after the stand-up. This maintains the meeting's efficiency and ensures all team members get to provide their updates quickly. Question 13. What is the primary benefit of using an information radiator, such as a physical task board or a dashboard, in an Agile environment? A. To enforce strict control over team activities. B. To provide transparent and readily visible status updates to the team and stakeholders. C. To document formal project progress reports for senior management. D. To serve as a historical archive of completed tasks. Answer: B. To provide transparent and readily visible status updates to the team and stakeholders. An information radiator, like a physical Scrum board or a digital dashboard, is a highly visible display that presents key project information in an easily understandable format. Its primary benefit is to promote transparency and enable quick, at-a-glance understanding of project status, progress, and impediments for both the Agile team and interested stakeholders. This open communication fosters collaboration and self-organization by ensuring everyone is informed without needing formal meetings or reports. Think of it as a constant, public update board. Question 14. An Agile team is employing the definition of done. What is the main purpose of this definition? A. To list all the acceptance criteria for a specific user story. B. To specify the quality standards and activities required for a product backlog item to be considered complete and shippable. C. To outline the roles and responsibilities of each team member within a sprint. D. To describe the tasks required to start a new sprint. Answer: B. To specify the quality standards and activities required for a product backlog item to be considered complete and shippable. The definition of done is a shared understanding within the Scrum team about what it means for work to be complete on the product increment. It outlines the specific quality standards, criteria, and activities, e.g., coded, tested, integrated, documented, that a product backlog item must meet to be considered done and potentially shippable. This definition ensures consistent quality, transparency regarding completed work, and helps the team align on what done truly means, preventing unfinished work from being passed off as complete. Question 15. Which of the following best describes the concept of a release train in scaled Agile frameworks? A. A method for delivering a complete product to customers only once a year. B. A series of sprints conducted by a single team to release a small feature. C. A long-lived series of iterations, typically 8 to 12 weeks, that multiple Agile teams use to deliver integrated increments of value. D. A process for training new Agile team members on release procedures. Answer: C. A long-lived series of iterations, typically 8 to 12 weeks, that multiple Agile teams use to deliver integrated increments of value. In scaled Agile frameworks like SAFe, a release train, often called an Agile release train or ART, is a long-lived team of Agile teams that, along with other stakeholders, incrementally develops, delivers, and often operates one or more solutions in a continuous flow of value. It's a virtual organization that plans, commits, and executes together, typically over a program increment, PI, of 8 to 12 weeks, ensuring that multiple teams synchronize their efforts to produce an integrated increment. This coordinated approach ensures larger initiatives can be tackled effectively while maintaining Agile principles. Question 16. What is the main characteristic of an Agile contract that supports flexibility and collaboration? A. Fixed price with detailed scope defined upfront. B. Time and materials with no scope limitations. C. Focus on value delivery and mechanisms for adapting scope, often with capped costs or staged payments. D. Penalties for any deviation from the original project plan. Answer: C. Focus on value delivery and mechanisms for adapting scope, often with capped costs or staged payments. Agile contracts are designed to embrace change and promote collaboration, moving away from rigid, fixed-scope agreements common in traditional projects. They typically focus on delivering value incrementally, allowing scope to evolve based on feedback and changing priorities. Such contracts often include mechanisms for adaptation, such as cap time and materials, phase deliveries, or target cost with shared savings/pain, ensuring both parties share risk and benefit from flexibility while maintaining financial predictability. This approach fosters a partnership rather than an adversarial relationship. Question 17. An Agile team is adopting Kanban. What is the primary mechanism Kanban uses to manage and improve workflow? A. Fixed-length iterations and daily stand-ups. B. Limiting work in progress, WIP. C. Strict adherence to a predefined process. D. Detailed upfront planning and estimation. Answer: B. Limiting work in progress, WIP. The primary mechanism Kanban uses to manage and improve workflow is limiting work in progress, WIP. By setting explicit WIP limits for each stage of the workflow, Kanban systems prevent bottlenecks, encourage completion of work items before starting new ones, and make bottlenecks and system impediments immediately visible. This focus on flow and limiting WIP helps optimize the system, reduce multitasking, and ultimately improve throughput and predictability. Think of it as preventing too many balls from being juggled at once, allowing for better focus and smoother delivery. Question 18. What is the primary role of a product owner in a Scrum team? A. To manage the development team's tasks and ensure they meet deadlines. B. To act as a servant leader, facilitating the team's self-organization. C. To maximize the value of the product resulting from the work of the development team. D. To resolve technical impediments and maintain the development environment. Answer: C. To maximize the value of the product resulting from the work of the development team. The product owner is solely responsible for maximizing the value of the product created by the development team. This involves clearly articulating product backlog items, ordering them to best achieve goals and missions, and ensuring the product backlog is transparent, visible, and understood by everyone. They serve as the voice of the customer and business, making crucial decisions about what gets built and when, to ensure the team is always working on the most valuable features. Question 19. Which of the following Agile concepts emphasizes a continuous process of building, measuring, and learning to iterate on a product or service? A. Definition of done. B. Inspect and adapt. C. Lean startup build measure learn feedback loop. D. Pair programming. Answer: C. Lean startup build measure learn feedback loop. The Lean Startups Build Measure Learn feedback loop is a core concept that emphasizes a rapid cycle of developing a minimum viable product, MVP, deploying it to learn from customers, measuring the results, and then adapting the product strategy based on those learnings. This iterative approach aims to reduce risk and waste by validating assumptions quickly with real users before investing heavily, allowing teams to pivot or persevere based on empirical evidence. It's a continuous learning process to find product-market fit. Question 20. An Agile team is working on a complex feature. They decide to use pair programming. What is the main benefit of this practice? A. It eliminates the need for code reviews. B. It ensures faster code development by dividing work. C. It improves code quality, shares knowledge, and reduces defects through real-time collaboration. D. It allows one programmer to work on a feature while the other works on bug fixes. Answer: C. It improves code quality, shares knowledge, and reduces defects through real-time collaboration. Pair programming, an extreme programming (XP) practice, involves two developers working together at one workstation on the same code. One writes the code, driver, while the other reviews it, navigator, constantly discussing and collaborating. The main benefits are improved code quality due to immediate feedback and shared understanding, reduced defects, and enhanced knowledge transfer within the team. It's an excellent way to ensure quality and spread expertise. Question 21. What is the purpose of a burn-down chart in an Agile project? A. To track the progress of a specific user story over time. B. To show the amount of work remaining against time, typically for a sprint or release. C. To visualize the cumulative flow of work through a system. D. To track the budget spent versus the planned budget. Answer: B. To show the amount of work remaining against time, typically for a sprint or release. A burn-down chart is a graphical representation used in Agile to track the remaining work over time, typically for a sprint or a release. The x-axis represents time, days of a sprint/release, and the y-axis represents the remaining work, e.g., story points, hours. It visually indicates whether the team is on track to complete the committed work by the end of the period, helping to identify potential issues early and allowing for adjustments. Seeing the burn of work helps the team stay focused. Question 22. In the context of risk management in Agile, when should risks be identified and addressed? A. Only during the initial project planning phase. B. Continuously throughout the project lifecycle. C. At the end of each major release. D. When a significant issue or impediment arises. Answer: B. Continuously throughout the project lifecycle. Agile risk management is an ongoing, continuous process, not a one-time event. Risks should be identified, assessed, and addressed continuously throughout the project lifecycle, often at various Agile ceremonies such as daily stand-ups, sprint planning, and retrospectives. This proactive and iterative approach allows teams to adapt to new information, incorporate risk mitigation into their ongoing work, and respond quickly to emerging threats or opportunities. Always be vigilant for potential issues. Question 23. An Agile team is using the Shuhari learning model. At which stage would the team members be expected to start innovating and creating their own patterns or practices? A. Shu, obey. B. Ha, detach/digress. C. Re, transcend/create. D. Hari, combination of stages. Answer: C. Re, transcend/create. The Shuhari model describes 3 stages of learning and mastery. Shu is the initial stage where the learner strictly follows the rules and practices. Ha involves experimenting and breaking some rules with understanding, integrating new ideas. Re is the stage of transcendence, where the learner has a deep understanding of the underlying principles and can innovate, create new approaches, and effectively teach others, embodying true mastery. In this final stage, the team is no longer bound by predefined patterns but can create their own. Question 24. What is the primary purpose of conducting a value stream mapping exercise in an Agile organization? A. To create detailed process documentation for compliance. B. To identify and visualize the flow of value to the customer, highlighting waste and opportunities for improvement. C. To assign specific responsibilities to individual team members. D. To forecast future project budgets and resource needs. Answer: B. To identify and visualize the flow of value to the customer, highlighting waste and opportunities for improvement. Value stream mapping is a lean tool used to visualize the end-to-end flow of work required to deliver value to a customer, from concept to delivery. Its primary purpose is to identify all the steps in a process, differentiate between value-adding and non-value-adding activities, waste, and pinpoint areas for improvement. By mapping the current state, organizations can identify bottlenecks, delays, and inefficiencies, leading to more streamlined and efficient value delivery. It helps you see where value is truly created and where it is lost. Question 25. An Agile team decides to conduct a Sprint Zero at the beginning of a project. What is typically the main objective of a Sprint Zero? A. To deliver a minimal shippable product to the customer. B. To establish the project vision, initial backlog, team, and development environment. C. To conduct extensive user acceptance testing before the first full sprint. D. To resolve all known technical debts from previous projects. Answer: B. To establish the project vision, initial backlog, team, and development environment. A Sprint Zero, or sometimes Iteration Zero, is not a formal Scrum term but is commonly used in practice to describe an initial, short period before the first regular development sprint. Its main objective is to establish foundational elements for the project, such as defining the project vision, building an initial product backlog, forming and onboarding the team, setting up the development environment, and conducting initial architectural spikes if needed. It sets the stage for productive development, rather than delivering a shippable increment.